Hello there. Hi, and good afternoon to you all. And allow me to welcome you officially to the maiden edition of the Top Farmer Speaks. So, once again, you are very welcome wherever you are joining in from around the world. You are tuning in for the very first time. You're welcome today, July the 2nd. It's a new month, and we are exploring brand new opportunities for complete interaction and expansion and networking concerning the agricultural sector. So let me just start by saying you're welcome to today's show, today's edition, and we have a lovely lineup for you. We have an amazing speaker who will be shedding light on a whole lot of stuff. But right now, allow me to just say welcome to the Top Farmer Speaks. When you hear Top Farmer, I wonder what comes to your mind first of all. Well, the Top Farmer is it's an initiative of the Top Farmer Foundation, and the platform seeks to shed the needed spotlight on the latest developments in the agricultural sector in Nigeria, which of course is endless. So pretty much this is a link between the various stakeholders in the industry, and we hope to highlight the vast opportunities in agriculture, maybe focus a little bit on and break down some of the government policies and uncover funding, investment prospects, and look for ways to research and improve our agricultural sector in Nigeria. The market and the export potentials are endless from Nigeria. One thing I do know for certain is one problem we have in this country is proper dissemination of information. Information is one thing that doesn't really circulate in Nigeria. The difference between you and I could just be information. So this platform allows you, the stakeholder, the investor, maybe someone who just wants to be, who is inquisitive about the agricultural sector and you want to know more about the industry, you can join this platform every Friday between 4 to 5 p.m. My name is Manny Essien, and of course, I am going to be your host for the next several weeks. And if you haven't heard about the Top Farmer before, then hopefully when we allow you to see a small video clip, you can have an idea of what the program is all about. So first of all, welcome again, everybody. Thank you for tuning in or videoing in from wherever you are around the world. So our topic for this week, I did say that this show is going to be weekly. So our topic for this week is start small, grow big, right? Start small, grow big. It's not very popular, is it? When you say start small, grow big. Not everybody wants to start small in this world. Let's not even examine Nigeria. But in an agricultural context, like any other business, the entrepreneur is, it's expected to start with millions and millions of naira. Is that true or that is not true? Maybe what he needs really is to join a seminar, a program like this, maybe to become an apprentice somewhere or undergo some training before he takes a big leap into the sector. So I have an amazing speaker today for you guys. The speaker is something else. Before I introduce my speaker to you today, a reputable individual, I would like you all to just have a look at a small video clip. We have a small video that will play for you so you can have a look at it and have insights to what the Top Farmer represents. And we will be coming back to talk to our guest speaker who is standing by with us here today. All right, so please remember to gather your thoughts and your questions ready, whatever sector you belong to. You're an agricultural enthusiast, you're an investor, you're a stakeholder. Let's interact and share knowledge and see how we can prefer solutions to this ever booming agricultural economy in Nigeria. So once again, you're welcome. My name is Manny Essien. And we will now watch a little video clip, which should play in the next few minutes. Thank you very much.
Cassava, christened the golden crop by the IITA, is a perennial crop and a staple food for millions of rural and urban dwellers in Nigeria and across the continent, contributing greatly to food security, as it is estimated that more than 90% of cassava production is processed into food. The world production of cassava is around 250 million tons a year, with Africa producing more than half of the global supply. Nigeria sits on top of that supply chain, representing more than a third of African production alone. It is by far the largest world producer, with around 45 to 51 million tons, representing about 20.6% of global production. Ironically, while being the leading producer globally, Nigeria ranks 34th when it comes to the market share in global exports of cassava. Cassava's greatest potential lies in its other uses when processed into other secondary products of immense industrial value. In its processed form, a significant industrial demand exists for cassava, primarily as substitution for imported raw materials and semi-finished products. Cassava has played and continues to play a remarkable role on the agricultural stage of Nigeria. Cassava is grown in a total of 26 states in Nigeria, and if properly harnessed, this is one crop that would leave many farmers and other players in the value chain smiling broadly to the bank.
Okay, so let me just start by saying how hopefully you enjoyed that video clip. Yes, and of course you do know that this program will be coming your way every week. So in case you miss it today, don't miss next Friday, but we will be shedding a whole new light on the agricultural sector in Nigeria. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Top Farmer Speaks. And now it's time for us to, for me to introduce you to our speaker for the maiden edition of the Top Farmer Speaks. This individual is someone that I trust, with his vast knowledge and experience in the business, is someone that you can all learn from on this platform for free. He is Mr. Kolawole Adeniji. He is a trained mechanical engineering technologist. That's a big one, isn't it? A mechanical engineering technologist. Wow. With over 25 years experience on, diverse agro-allied projects all over Nigeria and even Africa as well. He is a prominent stakeholder in the agri-allied machinery and equipment fabrication in Nigeria. He holds enviable positions, man, in cassava value chain businesses all over Africa. So he's, in other words, in my language, I would say he is an Igbo. He's a chairman of chairmen. He is the founder and the chairman of the Niji Group, comprising of 4 other subsidiaries, namely the Niji Lucas Nigeria Limited, Niji Farms and Allied Services Limited, Niji Foods Nigeria Limited, Niji Institute of Sustainable Agriculture, and Ripples Hotel and Nightclub in Nigeria, operating in agricultural machinery fabrication, crops, and livestock production, food, amongst many other things. I think, in a nutshell, he is the type of person you go to if you want to go into fabrication. That's machinery fabrication, crops and livestock production. I mean, this is the guy that you need to go to if you want to learn a whole lot of things. You can't just knock on his door. You have to log on to a platform like this to speak to him. So, good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you for joining us right here on the Top Farmer Speaks. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this forum. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So I like you.
Good to see you again.
I like your summary and I liked your presentation. That's very good.
Thank you very much, sir. How is everything, sir?
Well, everything is okay and everything is good. Sorry, in case I want to share screen, they should allow me to share the screen, please. Okay, I think.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for joining us. I know your schedule is very busy, but we can't wait to tap knowledge from you and benefit from you right here on this forum, sir.
Thank you. So I say good afternoon to everybody. My name is Kola Adeniji, but I like calling myself Farmer Kola Adeniji. So I'm going to be the one to actually give a brief about program for the next 4 weeks. So, and we'll be talking on different program. I'm trying to actually share the screen.
No problem, please. Feel free to do so. Anybody joining in as well, please remember that our topic is for this week is how to start small and grow big. In case you have any questions about that, please feel free to send your questions when the right time comes. Thank you.
Sorry. So I'll be someone is able to connect to share the screen. So I'll be talking more on the way to start your business in a small way, in a vision. Normally, people assume knowledge. We ask people not to assume knowledge. So a lot of things I need to do about farming is what we're going to be talking about here. And thank God we're picking a crop that is, we call it a golden crop, so which is cassava. Cassava can grow virtually anywhere in the country, and that's one of the most advantage we have. Cassava is one of the crops that can provide good employment opportunity for people. I think that's the part of it. So we are connect the screen. I'm trying to share the screen so people can see what I'm doing. There you go. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, we can see the screen. Yes, sir, we can see the screen, sir.
Okay, you can see the top farmer show.
Exactly, we can see the top farmer show, sir. You can carry on, sir.
Okay. So thank God the screen came up fine. So it's going to be 4 weeks, like I said. Then we are starting with you need the way to start your business and grow big. So that's the topic for today. Then the week one goes like this. Everybody know that no bank is willing to assist agribusiness or any form of business, but farming is a kind of a peculiar problem. So that's why we always ask you to have a seed money so that you can start your business in a way. Then the insecurity in the countries actually affecting a lot of people. A lot of people really want to go into farming, but they are being a little bit scared because of the insecurity. But despite that, farming is still a good choice. So a lot of people, they will talk that we have arable land everywhere. I say the lands are arable, but how accessible are the land, or how available are the land? They are not available. They are available there, but they are not accessible. We are going to talk on that, and people can ask me a question on why is it that we have arable land that are not accessible. That's another one. Then, when you look at farming generally in Africa and Nigeria, because I work in most of the African countries, so precisely on setting up the farm and equally processing equipment. But when you talk of labor, we don't have labor. We don't have skilled labor, and we don't have people who are willing and are ready to take up the opportunity. So we have a lot of space for the youth to actually tap into in the area of trusted hands on the farm. So that's another opportunity we need to look into. So many times, a lot of people assume knowledge, and we're still going to work on. We are still going to talk on that. A lot of people go into farming with a notation that I just want to plant. It's a matter of planting and you harvest, and that's all. No, it's more than that. The time you need to plant, your planting populations matter. Then the time we are actually controlling the weeds matter. So there's a lot of things you need to take into consideration. So when you assume knowledge and you go to farm, so you fail. That's why we say don't just assume knowledge and go to farm. So what should you do? Some basic things that you need to do before you can call yourself a farmer, or before you can say, yes, you want to go into farming. So you need to be attending seminar. Like this seminar is very, very important. This kind of seminar is a kind of like a wake up or awaken you and to know where you are going and what you need to do. You have a lot of medical doctors, you have a lot of lawyers, you have a lot of this and that. They don't wake up in the day and say, I want to become a medical doctor, I want to become a lawyer. They make an informed start, they go through training, they go through different schools and everything before they become. But people assume farmer is just act of planting and I want to plant. And that's the more reason why they fail. So you need to visit some existing farms. So when you visit farms, then you'll be able to gain more on some of the farm visits that you do. Be ready to understudy the processes. Very, very important. So when you visit farm, you understudy, you do this, then you need to enroll as an intern.
Okay.
So if you enroll, it's more better for you. You enroll, you work with someone without even looking for the pay. You go to farms that say, I want to work with you for 6 months, for 1 year, for 2 years, don't pay me. And you realize that when you work and you develop interest on it, you make more money along the value chain and you're learning. So I think I've mentioned you be ready to start small and learn as you grow. When you start small, you grow big. When you start small, when you make mistake, you fix it. But a lot of people are not ready to. I think I got some call some years back, and some people want to go into farming and they want to have almost, I think, 200 hectares of farming. And I don't know, it's not done that way. Go and start with almost 20 hectares and look at what comes out of it. So they started with that, but they did not actually work on the market. That's another thing. So you need to work on the market to know the kind of market you want to sell your product in. And I do tell people that if you don't have market, don't grow at all. If you don't know who's going to uptake your product, don't grow at all. Don't grow if you don't know who's going to buy your product from you. Don't grow. So identify mentor, identify the people who knows better than you, and on the job they have been doing fine that you can actually take as your mentor and you can serve as a mentee on. Look out for partnership and collaborations. People want to grow alone, and it takes a lot of efforts if you don't have the seed money or the capital. But you can collaborate, you can partner, you can develop a lot of different systems to work together. That's why in our own training school, we train you on how to be a service provider. Now we know how to be a farmer. We don't train people on how to be a farmer, we train you how to be a service provider. Farming activities is wide. Pick a particular aspect of farming and you pick aspect on it. If you want to manage the weed, then train yourself as a weed manager on how to control the weed or how to manage the weed. If you want to work on tractor land preparation, that means it's a fit for you to say, okay, I want my point is just to know how to prepare a proper land, either for cassava, for maize. For the land preparation for cassava is different from land preparation for maize. It's land preparation for vegetables, but a lot of people don't know anything about that. So that's why you say you need to look for all those partners, and you have to collaborate within your people. So you need to understand the terrain. The location of the business matters at times. If you don't understand the terrain, we had a similar experience. We are doing a setup. We are setting up a farm for one of our clients. We visited the farm. The location was okay, but by the time the community saw that they brought some bulldozers, some everything, they start making unnecessary demand that demand cannot even meet up. If I thought it's actually selling for another 5 or 6 years. So that's why you need to understand the terrain of where you are putting your business. So, sorry. So I think I've said that one, that you never assume knowledge. That's why you need to make an informed start. So don't assume knowledge at all. Make an informed start. So do not grow in isolation. I think we've said about that one, that you need to form partnership, do all those things, and it makes you better because you need to look for an area whereby, let me give an instance. If you are growing a plantain or banana, if you set up your plantain farm in an area where there's no any other plantain farm in that area, man, plantain, when it's ripe, a lot of people, if you're attracted to a lot of people, and a lot of people will say, this is a plantain. Even the security man on the farm would be like to actually have part of your harvest. So that's why when you want to grow plants, you look for an area whereby the plantain is good, and you set up your own farm there. You know, you have a cluster of people. If we are setting up a cassava farm, look at an area whereby it's an agrarian environment whereby the cassava is being grown. You set up your cassava farm there. So there's a lot of shared services we are going to be sharing, a lot of process, a lot of advices and everything that is going to be running through each other. Do not run your business on trust. That's another silly mistake we do. We put our family in business, or you do an absentee farmer, you are in Lagos, your family is there, you business on trust. No, develop a system whereby the recording system on every aspect of operations on the farm, they need to document it, and they need to report to you on a daily basis. So record keeping is very, very important on the farm, not just from all the businesses. Do not be afraid to fall. So because I don't want to fail, I cannot study the rain, I don't want to plant. That means you won't plant anything. You won't plant anything. So that's why do not be afraid to fall. So learn from your mistakes. So it's very, very important. Don't be in a haste to make money. Very, very, very important. Farming is supposed to come from passion. When you are passionate about it, and when you like what you are doing, the money will come. But for farming, you cannot put money first. That's why you see a lot of bankers and everything. They find it difficult to actually borrow money because they're looking at the money that's coming out of it. So it's very, very important. So we are going to talk about mixed cropping, mixed farming. Mixed cropping at times is not good, too good. If I'm mechanizing your farm, I won't advise that. So mixed farming at times is good because you set up a cassava farm. You can only work on your cassava farm from X time to X time, but you have some other farm whereby can actually take your time. Or after finishing working on cassava farm, for another 1 week or 2 weeks, you don't have anything to do again. So you have some other things that you can do. So we're going to talk about that one, and I will go to entertain questions on that. What exactly are you looking forward to? So that's one of the questions you need to ask yourself before you go into farming. So thank you. So I will entertain questions from the audience and from the people watching. So I'll be able to relate with you on all your questions. But the way I'll be taking questions is that I think if someone go to, okay, sorry, the coordinator is going to coordinate that. Let me just leave the screen for you to take over. So let me go back to the first page. Okay. Okay, I think I'm done. So any questions from the audience? I can't hear you. I think you are muted.
Okay, thank you so very much. That was a very, very insightful session. Hopefully everyone tuning in got something. I took a lot from what you were saying, sir. And now it's time for anyone out there to start I'm asking a question. If you have a question, you can ask a question. You can also email your question if it's too if you can't send it across via Zoom. It's info@thetopfarmer.ng. There's a question for you, sir, and this question is from Kingsley, all the way from Abuja. He says, what is the most important factor to consider when you are going into cassava production? What is the most important factor to consider when you're going into cassava production?
Yeah, thank you. That's a good, very good one. So when you are going to cassava production, I've told you that you need to know the costs of farming. Very important. How much am I going to spend on it? How much am I going to sell? How much is my profit? Who is my optical. So you need to develop and know your optical before you go into it. So who is buying from me? Very important. And you do the analysis. What's the cost of land clearing? What's the cost of land preparation? What's the cost of planting? What's the cost of weed management? What's the cost of actually maybe harvesting, and how much am I going to sell? So you need to know your profit from day one before you go into farming. And you need to know who is buying your product and at what price are they buying. Very important.
Thank you very much. Hopefully, does that Kingsley from Abuja, I hope that answers your question. Remember, please, you can send your questions online or on the chat section. Make it as brief as possible. You can email your questions to info@thetopfarmer.ng. Another question for you, sir. So I'll be sorry, the questions are plenty to you. I hope you don't mind.
I don't mind, don't worry. That's the reason why we're here.
Yes. Okay, so somebody said, can small scale, this person is Dio from Ikeja. Hello, Dio. Dio says, can small scale production be done with mechanization? When you say start small, grow big, you know, can you do small scale production without mechanization? Can you do it without mechanization?
You can do small scale production without mechanization, but your costs, the overhead is going to go up. That's why we say, look for, if you want to do small scale, look for an area whereby like 20, 10 of you can work together. You have small, and you have to divide it into plots. I think it's more better for you in that way. So you can do it, but your overhead is going to affect your profits. So if you do it in that way, it's going to affect your profits, unlike someone that is mechanizing. That's why we say we need to collaborate and form partnership for you to go and make profits. The essence of business is for you to make profits. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Still, so many more questions are coming in. Even me, I have my question for you, but I'll leave my own. My own will be the last question. So this person is Sean from Akute. Sean says, is online training enough to go into cassava production? Online training? If no, how can we get required training before we go into agriculture? I think this person is asking you, is it possible to learn about production online without going into the physical aspect of it?
You have to combine the two together. But majorly, you can only have the idea on how it goes if you have some people working for you. You can do online. So when they're working, you know exactly what they are saying, and you know the operations they've carried out. But for you to go into it, you can't be an absentee farmer. It's not possible. So you just have to be there for you to make a good profit. So you will have people who call corporate farmers. So corporate farmers will still need to work people on the farm, so they share the profit into two. So you can only create awareness online, but you can't learn online. You have to make a kind of physical presence, so to look at how it's been done. So very important. So you can learn online, but it's not the best for you to do. So you have to look at it the way it's been done, practically. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Hopefully that answers your question, Sean from Akute. Anybody can ask a question on the forum. Remember, you can indicate if you want to ask a question by sending a message in the chat section, and we shall unmute your microphone. All right, so let's try and get more interactive today, okay? This next question is from an anonymous person. I think this person doesn't want us to know how much money he has, so he remains anonymous. He says that what is the minimum capital required to start a cassava farm? Since we are talking about small scale to start small, grow big, our topic. So what is the minimum, with your expertise, sir? What do you recommend is the minimum requirement to start a cassava farm? That's the question you're asking.
Yeah, thank you. Starting a cassava farm depends on your standard of living. So if you are not married, your standard of living is low. But if you are married with kids or with wife, your standard of living is a little bit high. So depends on the standard of living that you are living. That's what you can do. But for you to have a cassava farm, maybe with 5 acres, that's 2 hectares, you can start. Then depends on the location you are. So you don't use all the profit to enter or to run your logistics. So with almost 2 hectares, which is 5 acres, you can start. And that one, you send an email so for us to be able to break it down for you on each of the costs on the operations, and we get to all those details, but everything goes down on your cost of living. So because it's not good for you to do a business and you're not making profit because you don't have money. So it's better for you not to do that business at all. That's why it's better for you, instead of doing cassava farming, pick a particular service along the cassava farming so that you can render for other farmers to pay your services if you don't have money to start with. But we'll tell you the minimum requirement capital that you need to have before you can start making profit. Very important. So we don't create a job and the poverty level still remain. I think you understand. Some people will create job, they will want the poverty level is still there. Why are you working when the work cannot solve the poverty? So we don't want to encourage that in this platform. So we'll be able to guide you for the minimum investment portfolio you'll be able to before you can start. Thank you.
Okay, I hope that answers his question. I think he was expecting you to say, oh, 2 million or 1 million or 500,000.
No, I said that you need to send us an email so we can break each of the operations that we now look at his own pockets to pick. Don't worry, we have answer to it, but we cannot give you just online. So thank you.
Of course. So please remember, you can send your emails. I really would like you to send us your email about this question concerning how much our speaker has given you an open door, and it will not be open forever. Send your email to info@topfarmer.ng. Hello, sir.
I'm with you, sir.
Okay, so this question is from Joshua. Joshua is in Ajah. He says, thank you very much for this expose. Please, I want to ask, what do you mean by not putting money as the focus? What do you mean when you said you're not putting money as the focus? How do you deal with Omonile challenge when you are acquiring farmland? That is Joshua from Ajah. Are you there, sir?
Yeah. It's just a simple answer to the question. So why I say you should not put money first, don't go into farming because you want to make money and you don't have interest and you don't have passion for it. That means nothing will come out of it. That means you will not going to have time. So farming is time consuming. And we ask people that when you are going to farming, you don't need to buy land, you lease land. Because don't use all your capital to buy land and normally start stopping you. But if you lease a land, you know that instead of buying land for almost 200,000, you can still lease the same land for 10,000. And we advise you to say lease land to farm and do long lease. So it's much cheaper for you than to use all your capital to buy land and the money is stopping you, or the 200,000 supposed to buy land, you use it for 1 hectare. If you lease 10,000 or 5,000, that means you already have almost like 20 hectares. So to work with. So those are the things you are going to gain on this platform. So there are some things we are going to share with you on how to start small. That's part of start small and grow big. So don't say you have almost 1 million, take 1 million on the land and you keep the land and now start looking for another money to do some land clearing, land preparation, planting. No. There's a way you can use your money and develop it and you still make your money back along the line. That's part of what you're going to gain on this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is getting more interesting. Even me, I'm learning a whole lot today. Okay, we have about 3 more questions for you, sir, if you don't mind. And anybody else can also send the questions. This is the reason why we set up this program in the first place. So you have direct access to a stakeholder in the agricultural sector. If you're just joining us Right now, we're speaking to Mr. Kolawole Adeniji. And of course, I did tell you a thing or two about his person. He is a mechanical engineering technologist, majorly in agriculture. So if you have a question, this is the best time to ask your question now. Somebody is saying, this person is saying that he has a problem with his farm, or the farm that he's working in. They have a problem with harvesting cassava, that they always have a shortage of labor, and it has caused them a lot of time wasting and loss. So he's asking you, what do you recommend in terms of labor substitution? Is there anything that you can say that is the best way to harvest cassava if you are short of labor? That's what they are asking.
Yeah, that's a good one. We are trying to mechanize cassava farming, and that's what we're doing presently now, so that you can have your farm and you make more profit. So we have different harvesters that you can use to harvest the cassava, and your cassava root will not be damaged. But before you can use harvester, depends on the way you prepare the land. You have to ridge in order to accommodate the harvester. You have to plant in another way to accommodate the harvester. So those are the procedures, and that's part of what you are going to learn along the line on this program. So there is a way you need to plant a ridge. It's not a conventional ridging arrangement that we're talking about. So when you ridge for maize, it's different from when you cultivate or for cassava or for no. The mixed feeling we are doing is that there's no standard template in Nigeria of doing business, but we are creating a standard template on say you don't treat cassava farming the way you treat maize farming, the way you treat cocoyam, the way you do. No. You just make a single rig for all of them. No, it's different. So that's part of what they are going to do. So we have everything to automate cassava farming. There's no problem about that. So thank you.
Okay, so we just have 2 more questions, sir, and we will close the door on the question and answer session. Any late question, your penalty is 1,000 naira. Yes,
$1,000.
$1,000 will be your penalty for this free information session. And I second the motion, sir. Thank you. This question is from Bukola. Bukola says that a friend of hers advised her to borrow money to start a cassava farm because she was looking for where she can borrow money. And they said she's looking for what, if she borrows money, where to invest it. And they said she should invest in cassava production. So she's asking you, from your experience, when do you think that she will have return of investment after a year on 1 acre of land?
You can't have a return on investment on 1 acre of land on cassava farm. If you have 1 acre of land to grow vegetables, it's doable. But I've told you that that's the reason why I don't want to answer the costs or the finances surrounding the size of the farm. So you cannot have 1 acre of land that you say you want to put cassava and you make money. You can't make money. Even getting labor and everything, you can't make money. So the only you can have in the cluster, because look at you need to go to the farm and supervise the farm and go to the farm. Look at the cost of going to the farm and come. How much profit are you going to make from 1 acre of land? Who is buying from you? So if you have 1 acre of land, that means you have it at the back of your house, whereby you are not paying any logistics or any further distance, and there's an operation you can do on your own. So which is good. And for me, you don't borrow money to set up a small cassava farm. You borrow money to set up a real cassava business when you have people who's going to buy it. But if you have some seed money, you can develop some 1 acre, 2 acres of cassava farm, which is good for you. Because in that case, it's not the profit that is driving you. It's that you just want to learn on the job. So 1 acre, 2 acre farm is just as if you grow it to learn on the job, or you do it as a subsistence farming that you can use to support your living.
So sir, if I may just add to that question, does it mean if the 1 acre is small and for such production, what do you think, what size?
I think I've said it. The minimum size of cassava farm you can grow, say you start making profit, is from like almost 5 acres. So when you have
5 acres.
5 acres of cassava farm, now you say, okay, you can start making money. When you do the analysis for you, what's the input and output, then what's the profit there, then you spread the profit over a period of time, you're able to work on the farm. And the location of the farm is very important. And the reason why we say you don't have 1 acre, 2 acres, is that when you have 1 acre in an isolated area, so the cattle rustler, everything will come here and eat it. Even paving and everything can set in. So that's the more reason. So along the line, they will get to understand the reason why we say 1 acre is not good when they are part of the program. So no problem.
Thank you, sir. I have to beg you for an extra time in this particular encounter we are having now, because I have received a message, a late entry. I told you late entry is $1,000. Well, this entry comes from Chris. Chris says, what's cassava market structure? What's the size of the cassava market in Nigeria? I think that is what he's asking. What is the size? Is it the biggest, or is there any other food production that is bigger than cassava? I think he's asking about the size of cassava production in Nigeria.
When you look at the cassava production size in Nigeria, to me, I think it's bigger than any other market, because I will explain. Cassava, you can use it as a industrial crops. So add value to it. You can get starch from it. Starch can compete with corn starch, can compete with potato starch. It's gluten free. You can get the cassava flour from it. Maggi that you eat and everything can come out. All confectionaries can come out from it. It's a big market. It's a billion market, not just a million. It's a billion market. Then when you look at the export potentials, so it's big. And when you look at the local markets within what we do, you eat gari, you eat fufu, you eat lafun. It's big. And when you look at what is happening to cassava peels now, all the cassava peels that was wasted before, people are now buying it even more than what it is now, to actually serve as an adna, to serve as a feed meal, fish meal, and to do some other products, binders and some other things. So and when you look at cassava business, it's only crops that you can grow, that you can work on from December to from January to December. It's one of the crops that it can keep you busy. There's no time you can't harvest cassava. No time that you can. So the cassava market is actually big when you look at it, because it fits into all the markets. And another one good thing for cassava is a good employer of labor. Cassava is one of the crops that can employ labor more than any other crops when you look at it, and it keeps you busy. And when you look at all the value chain, and it's a crop that you can grow without fertilizer, your cassava will grow. With little supervision, you realize your profits or your return on investment. And cassava is one of the crops that the root is useful, the stems is useful, the leaves are useful. So when you look at all the aspects of cassava, it's good. So I think that's one of the major things that you need to look at. So thank you.
I hope that answers your question, Chris. You see, cassava is multi-purpose.
Sorry. Our next week topic, we actually address that. So that's the more reason you need to join next week.
Oh, wow. Oh, there you go. I'm sure, Chris, you're not going to miss that session next week. We'll be telling you more about the byproducts of cassava and its uses. I've heard so much binders today, as binder, as flour, as fossil fuel. It's so many. I've heard so much today. It's amazing. And we're having so many questions. But please, you can follow us on Facebook. Remember that you can follow us. One more question, and we should be wrapping up the session today. Remember, please, that you can follow us on Facebook. The name is The Top Farmer. On Instagram, it's The Top Farmer Official. And we are on LinkedIn as well as the Top Farmer Foundation. Even this video, in case you missed it, you can also catch the video on YouTube with the same name, the Top Farmer. All right. And the final question for today's session is from Yinka from Ogun State, who says, why is Gary now, what's that? Gary is now 1,200 Naira. It was 350. Sir, please explain. Are you asking? I don't know whether they think you are a marketer. I don't know.
I will answer that question.
Okay.
Because people are using cassava for different purposes. So the demand for the industrial cassava is very high now. That if you say you cannot buy for Gary, people who are already doing starch will buy, people who are doing flour will buy, the fufu seller will buy, and a lot of people are willing to buy cassava. Now, that's number one. Then when you look at it, during the past, for the past almost last few months, when you look at it, you don't have maize, you have yam are too expensive. So there's no new crops that comes out of the farm because of the dry season. So Gari and cassava derivative is the only product that you can have. And there's a lot of demand on the cassava products. So there's a lot of demand on cassava products. So Gari will automatically go up. That's point number one. The another thing is that because of farming is becoming unbearable now, because the expenses are disturbing. So when you have your farm, you have to get the security on the farm. So the implements are expensive. The diesel cost, a lot of all those things actually affect the cost of doing farming and the cost of processing. So that's what makes the cost of cassava to go up. And the reason why I was able to answer that question, I operate on the value chain. I have a farm, I add value to it, I do Gari, I sell Gari, I do all the starch, flour, everything. So when you compare all those issues, you see that the Gari, when I started business, the Gari was around 60 Naira, 80 Naira per kg, at times 50 Naira per kg. Yeah, as of today is around 600, 500, 700 Naira per kg. So when you look at inflation now, it's unbearable. So that's why the top farmer be able to shed more light on how the cost of Gari can come down. So don't worry, be part of top farmer. And that's why the reason the top farmer is coming up to see how we can provide solution to all this problem of food security and how to create employment for the youth so that they will be gainfully employed and they can make more money from farming. So thank you.
Okay, on that note, we can summarize by taking this one from Emeka from Festac. He says that he is happy to meet you and to learn from this forum, but he wants to know what is your capacity. He wants to just be enlightened about your capacity, your production capacity. That he's asking how much do you produce and at what is your production capacity. I think that's what he's asking you. He wants to know your capacity. Maybe he wants to be inspired. He wants to be inspired. So to know what do you produce, how many bags or how many tons of flour do you produce? I think what he's asking.
For the cassava on the farm, we have over 4,000 acres of cassava, and we are still trying to increase this year to close to almost 5,000. So that's what.
Sorry, sir. I'm sorry. Did you say 4,000 acres?
4,000 acres, yes. So we are working on getting to 5,000 this year acres.
It's a very long way. You are talking about 5 acres for a young farmer, and you're on 4,000 acres.
Yes, I've been on this journey for the past almost 30-something years. So it's not today. And for the value chain, we add value. We have like 50 tons of inputs on the cassava starch. We have another 50 tons input on the cassava flour, and we have between 20 to 30 on Gari and flour. So our capacity is around 130, 120 tons per day. that we
120 tons a day.
yes, of cassava that our capacity can can take care of.
So you're obviously mechanized. You're mechanized fully.
Yes. We're one of the mechanized farm, at least in Africa. And we're one of the biggest cassava farm, if not the biggest in Africa, but we're one of the biggest cassava farm in Africa. So, and that's why I say you don't do it for money, but money will come. So we are passionate about it, that we need to solve the problem, create legacy, and look at how things can be done. That's the more reason why we're up to this level. So, and we're still growing. So we're
But
still
sir,
growing.
please, for the purpose of this forum, please, how much did you start with?
I started with maybe, I started, I started with little money. That's why I say grow your business. I'm a typical example of how to actually tell you how to start, put your commitment and everything in the business. Maybe when I started my major business, I was just having money to move from one place to another to ask for problem I want to solve for people. So that was just, and with that, you bottleneck your resources, you know where you are spending your money on, and you know the kind of investment you are making, you know the kind of risk you are taking. You take what we call a calculated risk, and it's doable. So if I can do it, other people can do it, and it's possible.
All right. Very inspiring there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and stakeholders, partners from all over Nigeria, I hope this session has been very insightful. The information is priceless, coming from a seasoned investor, Mekanal. He is a trained mechanical engineering technologist with over 25 years experience working in diverse agro-allied projects.
Sorry, it's over 30 years, huh?
Over 30 years. I'm sorry, my apologies. In the value food chain, all the chains, in fact, you are there. In fact, I'm very sure you're in the manufacturing chain at some point. I'm sure you manufacture some of the gadgetry, the machinery that is used even to process. Because I'm not sure you're importing machinery. I don't believe you're importing all your machinery. So this is who he is. He's also the founder and chairman of the Niji Group, comprising of 4 other large subsidiaries, to mention a few of them: the Niji Lucas Nigeria Limited, Niji Farms and Allied Services Limited, Niji Foods Nigeria Limited. So it's a wide chain. And if I were you, I would not miss the next session, next Friday, where, of course, you will be opening some more windows for us into this very, very long journey of the Top Farmer Speaks. And it's been very, very, very informative. We want to thank you so very much. So everybody out there, before we close the door, sir, I don't know if you have your final words for people who are opportune to tap into this window of knowledge, sir.
My final word is that it's doable. So, and the best thing for us to start working on in Nigeria now is farming, and you don't need to wait for anybody to actually support you. So you need to support yourself, and you need to carry your load where it's heavy, so that other people will support you. And very important. Thank you.
Well, on that note, we say goodbye to you, sir. Till next week, we'll be joining you again on this forum. This has been the Top Farmer Speaks. My name is Manny Estienne. I remain your humble host. I will do it again gladly between 4 to 5 p.m. Make it a date and don't be late. And of course, a big thank you to our speaker for today, Honorable Kola Adeniji. We salute you, sir.
Farmer Kola Adeniji. Farmer Kola Adeniji. Farmer.
Yes, sir.
Kola Adeniji.
Farmer. Very, very thank you to you, sir. And everybody else who has tuned in online as well. Everybody who was not able to share a word or two, remember, you can please send us your email. We would love to hear from you about what you've experienced from this forum today. It's info@thetopfarmer.ng. We are on Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, and just look for the Top Farmer, and you can have a watch the repeat of this maiden edition. And remember that the opportunity is out there. You need to go and get it. Go and get the opportunity, because the land is green. That's what it is. All right. Thank you very much for tuning in, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye from you, sir. So everybody else, have a great evening and a wonderful weekend. And we are going to leave you with a little clip so you can have something to remember from the top farmer. Please enjoy this one. My name is Manny Essien, and I'll be signing out after this time.
Cassava, christened the golden crop by the IITA, is a perennial crop and a staple food for millions of rural and urban dwellers in Nigeria and across the continent, contributing greatly to food security, as it is estimated that more than 90% of cassava production is processed into food. The world production of cassava is around 250 million tons a year, with Africa producing more than half of the global supply. Nigeria sits on top of that supply chain, representing more than a third of African production alone. It is by far the largest world producer, with around 45 to 51 million tons, representing about 20.6% of global production. Ironically, while being the leading producer globally, Nigeria ranks 34th when it comes to the market share in global exports of cassava. Cassava's greatest potential lies in its other uses when processed into other secondary products of immense industrial value. In its processed form, a significant industrial demand exists for cassava, primarily as substitution for imported raw materials and semi-finished products. Cassava has played and continues to play a remarkable role on the agricultural stage of Nigeria. Cassava is grown in a total of 26 states in Nigeria, and if properly harnessed, this is one crop that would leave many farmers and other players in the value chain smiling broadly to the bank.